What is going on, YouTube people? New York Cards Comics here. You can tell it must be a slow news week. I mentioned yesterday that there really hasn't been a lot of nonsense and drama in the sports card world the past week or so. There was the Messi auto thing, which is a pretty big deal, but it doesn't really fall into my basket because it's soccer. But generally speaking, it has been an average week or so. This past weekend, social got riled up about MLB debut patches. On the right here, we have Yankee rookie catcher, social media darling, JC Escarra, I believe is how you say his last name. I could be butchering that. He got recently added to the roster right at the end of spring training, was one of the feel-good stories of the beginning of the season. He was on the bench for his first Major League Baseball game on Thursday, but did not take a step onto the field as a defensive player or in an at-bat. So he did not play in that game. At the end of the game, he jersey swapped with Nestor Cortes, former Yankees pitcher, and who ended up getting lit up on Saturday. On the jersey swap, you could see JC's MLB debut patch on this jersey. Reminder, he did not play in Thursday's game. On Saturday, he got in as a pitch hitter late in the game, and this shot was floating around Instagram/social yesterday. On it, you could see there is an at bat, and there is the MLB debut patch on it. So people were like, wait a second, why is there multiple MLB debut patches? So even though a debut patch is on this jersey, it was not actually his MLB debut. He did not play in that game. Now, they have no way of knowing that. All they know is, hey, this guy could potentially make his MLB debut today. They put the patch on his jersey. In this case, in Thursday's game, he didn't actually play. So, for lack of a better term, this patch is essentially meaningless. The magic of the MLB debut patch is the authentication of the debut patch. On Saturday's game, he did play. This is the one that matters. The physical patch itself, guess what? Yeah, there are multiples of them. The equipment managers, the way that I understand it is the equipment managers basically just have them at the ready. And if someone gets called up, because they don't know, Topps doesn't know, any player could get called up that morning and is all of a sudden debuting that night completely out of the blue. The equipment manager has these patches. They place them on the jersey when the player could potentially make their debut, which in JC's case could have potentially been on Thursday. On Saturday, he makes his debut. The patch is on his jersey. The magic of the patch is this, and there was a Topps Ripped article on this a while back. It's the authentication of the patch. And this isn't even, I know people want to go conspiracy theory on Topps all the time. Topps has nothing to do with this. This is Major League Baseball's authentication team. MLB has on-site authenticators at every single stadium for every single game that if they need to authenticate something, they are there with their little holographic stickers that you see on various memorabilia across Major League Baseball. So, as the Topps Rip article lays out, and there's been other pieces done about this, this was just the most concise one that I found that laid it all out in one place. When the player is going to make his debut, the patch is placed on, or potentially could make his debut, the patch is placed on the jersey. The authenticators witness that. When the player comes out of the game, after he has made his debut, which in this case in Thursday's game, JC had not, in Saturday's game he did, the patch is then removed from the jersey. It talks about in the article how they then take the jersey, remove the patch, And then it goes through the MLB authentication process where they document everything, put the hologram sticker on the back, lock it away, secure it up, chain of custody, the whole 9 yards. And then it gets transferred over to Topps for them to do their thing. Remember, these patches are added on and then just the individual patch is removed. So the player, that's the whole part of the ingenious of this, is the player does not get to lose out on their debut jersey if they want it. They get to keep their jersey from their very first game, or if the Hall of Fame wants it, or whatever the case might be. That jersey remains intact. This patch was specifically designed to be able to be easily applied and then removed without permanently damaging the actual original jersey itself. I don't know what tech they use behind it, but it is attached and then it's able to be removed without, causing a bunch of nonsense or harm to the jersey itself. That was part of the reason why this works, because if they wanted to cut a chunk out of a player's actual debut jersey, a lot of players would probably push back on that. They would say, no, I want to keep that for, my own personal collection or my own memories, or give it to my parents, or whatever the case might be. Or like I said, the Hall of Fame may want it to display in certain cases. Regardless, they came up with this little add-on patch / removable patch to kind of circumvent all that. So player gets to keep their little section, and MLB / Topps gets to remove a little chunk of that and then put it inside of a card. And like I said, and this is the key point, the physical patch is all well and good. Yes, there's multiples of them. If you went in, I bet you the equipment manager for every team probably has a stack of them locked away somewhere that they keep at the ready, just loose in a drawer or whatever. Because like I said earlier, you never know when one might need them. Where the magic pixie dust gets thrown on the MLB debut patch, the thing that makes it have the value, the thing that makes it that people want to chase, is this section right here. It's MLB, Major League Baseball, saying this one particular patch, this one right here, is the one that was on JC's shoulder, or whatever player you want shoulder, on or during their debut game. The first game that they set foot on the field and played, this is that patch. That authentication piece is the key component of the debut patch. Listen, I get it. People want to find conspiracy theories and nonsense to go at Topps and Fanatics all the time. I'm right there with you if they legitimately screw something up. They have nonsense going on with Messi autos right now. That is completely unacceptable. They have done plenty of other dumb stuff over the years. I have no problems going at them for dumb stuff. I just don't think this is one of them. This feels like much to do about nothing, and maybe people not understanding how the debut patch process works, or the key component of what actually makes the debut patch have that value, and it's the authentication piece, at least in my opinion. Of course, there are multiple patches floating around all over the place. Like I said, the equipment manager would have a stack of them most likely, because like I said, someone could get the call up an hour before the game. Cleveland, they have a minor league affiliate in Akron and Columbus. That's an hour and 2 hours away. They could get a player to the ballpark pretty quickly if they need someone last minute. If that happens really fast, there's been plenty of times where players have been called up from AA Akron straight to Cleveland in some cases, or even Columbus, hours before a game. The team is going to have those patches ready to go to stick on that player's arm when they arrive with their jersey for that game. So like I said, I personally think this is much to do about nothing, in my personal opinion. You might feel different. To each their own. As always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.